I mean, Donald Trump is facing dozens of charges. And now we have Colorado, we have Maine, that have said he will not be on the ballot for the upcoming caucuses. It is their intention for him not to be on the ballot for the presidential election. To my knowledge, the last time this happened to a candidate or potential candidate was to Abraham Lincoln back in 1860. When is the Supreme Court, when is the American Supreme Court actually going to look at this and rule on it?
Well, they'll rule on it soon, and they'll rule against Colorado and Maine. They have to. The idea of disqualifying a candidate that close to half the people want is so undemocratic. You know, in the 1920s, the right wing was trying to keep communists off the ballot. And now we're seeing the hard left, led by Harvard professors and others, who are trying to deny Americans the right to vote against and for whom they want. I want to vote against Donald Trump. I want him to be defeated fairly, squarely, in a fair election in the marketplace of ideas, but I don't want the thumb of the judiciary or secretaries of state to be on the scale, which would allow him to complain about the election if he lost. I want him to lose fair and square. I want to vote against him. I want to have my friends who want to vote for him have the right to vote for him. That's what democracy is about. It's not about taking people off the ballot on the basis of the Secretary of State somewhere deciding that he was involved in an insurrection. There were many insurrections, mini insurrections. Black Lives Matter took over courthouses and took over streets. That's not the basis on the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment was about the Civil War. We haven't had any civil war for the last 150 years.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's extraordinary. Is it your view that the Supreme Court will do the right thing?
They will do the right thing. The only question is, will it be 9-0, which I hope it will be, or will there be one or two dissenting votes? But this is an easy case. The 14th Amendment provides that Congress has the power to implement the provisions of the disqualification. And here you have Colorado and Maine, outlier states, making decisions about who can vote. So I'm fairly confident. You can never predict with certainty the outcome of the Supreme Court. But the fact that they granted the case and put it on a fast track, I think, is a pretty good sign that they will strike it down. And I hope they do it 9-0, and I hope they do it in terms that make it clear that this should never be repeated again.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that totally. And I'm sure you're right. I just would like to see them acting quickly. As you look ahead to 2024, this election year, there are so many legal cases mounting up, and perhaps in particular there's one in Georgia that just might, pose Donald Trump with some problems. Are we going to get through this American presidential election peacefully?
No, I don't think so. I think there will be disruptions. I think there'll be disturbances, particularly if they try to take him off the ballot or if they try to convict him of crimes which he is not guilty of. These cases, some of them are so extreme. The New York case is just made up out of whole cloth. I wrote a book about this called Get Trump. I'm not a Trump supporter, but I am a supporter of our Constitution, and I want to make sure that the election is the fairest election in American history, that nobody can complain about. That's an aspiration. I don't think it will be achieved. I think we're in for trouble in 2024.
Well, let's hope it is peaceful. I fear you're right. I fear there will be disruption.